You can't keep everyone and still win. Some will leave, some you'll push away, some will hate you for it. And that's the price. They don't put this part on posters. They don't sell you the silence, the empty rooms, the unanswered calls. They sell the victory photo. But before that picture, there's a season where it's just you and the mission. No applause, no comfort, no hands to hold when it hurts. And it will hurt. When I decided I was done playing small, I thought the people who said they loved me would be excited. They weren't. Some smiled and shifted the conversation. Some made jokes with a little poison in them. And some stared at me like I'd betrayed them. They said, "You've changed." I had. Changed was their code for you stopped living for us. Chasing something bigger than yourself is the fastest way to expose who's really in your corner. Ambition is a bright light. Put it in a dark room and watch who squints, who looks away, who tries to blow it out. Your grind will offend the comfortable. Your silence will threaten the loud. Your discipline will make the undisciplined call you obsessed, selfish, cold. Friendships were the first casualties. I used to waste weekends like it was my job. Late nights, easy laughs, conversations that left me emptier than before. We called it loyalty. It wasn't. It was a pact to stay exactly the same. When I started building, the group chat lit up with, "You disappeared." No, I showed up for me. I was stacking bricks while they were stacking hangovers. We tried to keep it going, but the jokes stopped landing. I stopped pretending I had time to burn. The only thing we had in common was the past. So I let them go. I didn't beg anyone to stay. If they couldn't handle my vision, they could watch from the sidelines. Then came the relationships. Love is easy when you're average. Kiss goodnight, sleep in, drift into another day exactly like the last. But purpose is a sharp blade. It cuts the rope tied to mediocre romance. I heard the same lines on repeat. You care more about your work than me. You need to slow down. We never do anything anymore. They wanted me soft, predictable, comfortable. But I am not a pillow. I am a sword. There was one I really thought would last. We had chemistry, history, and a plan until my plan got bigger than the one we made together. When the choice came, her or the mission, I didn't hesitate. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. Family was the hardest. Blood doesn't mean alignment. People who share your last name can still be allergic to your future. Don't forget where you came from. I haven't. But I refuse to drown in it just to make you feel safe. They called me different, distant, selfish, maybe. But dying with my potential locked inside because I was afraid to disappoint people who already decided what my life should look like. That would be the real selfish act. Winners are not people pleasers. If keeping someone means losing momentum, you let them go. If holding their hand means dropping your crown, you open your fingers and you watch them walk. I will walk through hell alone before I let anyone chain me to mediocrity. Understand something. This isn't hate. I don't have time to hate. This is hierarchy. Mission first, approval last. If you're threatened by my focus, you're not my circle. You're my noise. People romanticize growth like it's all sunrise and gym PRs. It isn't. Growth is subtraction. You subtract the late nights that make your mornings weak. You subtract the conversations that end with, "It's not that serious." You subtract the friends who love your old self and resent your new one. Success adds trophies, yes, but first it subtracts anchors. There was a night it hit me for real. Cold rain, empty streets, the city smeared across my windshield. A text came in. We don't even know you anymore. I stared at it at a red light and realized they were right. They didn't know me, because the old me was gone. I buried approval, I buried permission, I buried the version of myself who needed a crowd to feel brave. Here's the part you won't like. You can be loved and still be limited. People can care about you and still cage you with their comfort. Don't work so late. Take it easy. You've done enough. They think that's kindness. Sometimes it's a curse. Choose your environment like you choose your weapons. If the room makes you small, leave. If the table feeds your hunger for average, flip it. If the circle can't breathe at your altitude, climb anyway. I stopped dragging people uphill. I stopped sending progress reports to people who weren't building anything themselves. I stopped turning my goals into group votes. My life is not a committee project. I learned to love the solitude that used to scare me. Early mornings when the world is quiet and every minute is mine. Late nights when the only noise is my own breath and the work in front of me. That's not loneliness. That's a meeting with destiny. And yes, it cost me. Birthdays missed. Messages left on read. Inside jokes that don't land anymore because I'm not inside that life. I paid with attention, with energy, with comfort. But I got change back in the currency of progress. Here's the math. Slow approval equals fast regret. Fast action equals slow doubt. I chose fast action. You want to know the trick? There isn't one. There's just a lot of moments where you do the harder thing. You work when you could rest. You say no when yes would make them like you more. You forgive, but you don't go back. You cut ties, and you don't tie them again just because you're tired at midnight and nostalgia is calling. People love to ask, so who do you have left? Fewer faces, better oxygen, the ones who never asked me to shrink, the ones who clap when I climb past them, the ones who bring their own fire, not a bucket of water for mine. A lot of others became historians, experts on who I used to be. Let them write their little books. I'm busy living chapters they'll never read. If you're listening to this and it stings, good. Pain is a teacher. If the word selfish keeps echoing in your head, ask who taught you that chasing your potential is a crime. Ask who benefits when you stay small. I had to make peace with being misunderstood. I had to accept that some people will only love the version of me that serves their story. I had to stop writing myself out of my destiny just to fit their plot. You can't keep everyone and still win. And you can't win if you keep auditioning for roles you've outgrown. So cut the rope. Step off the stage they built for you and build your own. Choose the mission again and again until it's not a choice. It's your reflex. There's a moment on every climb when the air thins and the view expands. You look down at where you started. You look across at the distance left, and you know exactly why you couldn't bring the whole world with you. It wasn't malice. It was physics. Not everyone is built for this altitude. I used to count who I lost. Now I count what I gained. Clarity, speed, silence that sharpens me, a spine that doesn't bend for convenience, a focus that turns minutes into milestones. Some days, I still feel the pull, the desire to be liked, to be invited, to be understood. Then I remember, applause never built anything. Approval never paid my price. And every time I watered myself down to be palatable, I went to bed hating the taste. So hear me, and hear me clearly. Keep your kindness, but keep your edge. Carry your compassion, but never carry dead weight. Lead with love, but lead yourself first. If you're stuck between keeping them and keeping your momentum, you already have your answer. If your calendar is full of things that make no deposits in your destiny, clean it. If your phone is loud with voices that don't build you, mute it. Because the world does not reward the almost. It rewards the committed, not the agreeable, the unshakable, not the popular, the purposeful. I don't wake up to be liked. I wake up to be legendary in my own lane, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And if that means I walk alone, so be it. I've walked alone before. The road didn't apologize, and neither did I. One day, the people who couldn't breathe at your altitude will try again. They'll call it reconnecting. Maybe you'll have space for them, maybe you won't. Either way, the decision will be yours. Because you chose your crown over their comfort, your calling over their chorus. This is not about hating people. This is about loving the mission more than the applause. It's about refusing to betray the future for the feelings of the present. It's about building a life that tells the truth about who you are. So, I'll end the way I live. Cold, clear, and committed. If I have to choose between keeping you and keeping my crown, I'll walk away every time.